Welcome to ECNTRADE daily video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration.
Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you for joining me. The Australian dollar continues its upward trek and now clears the level of 74.2045 after posting an intraday high of 74.70. In light of the pattern, the divergence is somewhat still there. However, in light of the candle, could see another upside test. Now, if we clear 74.75, could give further upside risk, and that is towards 75.25.35. In light of this pattern, it's quite surprising that the trend is only somewhat weak, but the MACD is married to the RSI, and therefore, in light of the pattern breaking over the yearly high of 74.40.45, the market is somewhat still holding to a positive sentiment. Let's see how the market looks into today's price action, as we are getting to close to overbought region and therefore could see a short-term pullback from 74.70, but the pullback may be shallow and therefore could see the retreat, respect the support level 74.15 and reassess. In light of the pattern for the euro, the market is attempting to restore its bullish bias. And the fact is that if we look at on a broader picture, however, still negative. In light of the pattern, I feel this will give us opportunity to re-establish fresh positions from the bear side, due to the fact is that the recent upside tests and also with the dollar index still holding relatively around 98.5, could see the euro eventually take a tumble. However, the base is still holding around 107.50.85 as a broader target, but as I mentioned, any upside attempts should struggle. The dollar yen case continues its upward move and now posts a fresh high, 5-year high that is, around 121.02. Given to the fact that the divergence has now been negated, I still sit in with a neutral view due to the recent break above 119, and I'd rather assess the market as we slowly go from day to day, and therefore see the market eventually possibly stays in a downturn. We are, in terms of positions, I believe the market is very long, and the fact is all the short positions have been squeezed out. The ADX is overheating, so it is due for a correction to the downside very soon. Sterling posts very strong gains overnight and now reaches partly its objective of 132.60. In light of the pattern, there is still further upside tests, but reaching its objective of around 132.2060 is the fact we're looking up towards 133 as a potential target where I've outlined. I haven't given up on the sterling. In fact, the market is still relatively bullish, and I still feel there is further upside attempts or gains to be revealed. Let's see how this market plays into today. Sterling Kiwi still holding above that level of 190. But the divergence is getting a little bit, to the bull case that is, a little bit weaker. Do need to keep an eye on this pattern here, as a break or close under 190.00 will give further indication to the downside and could put a slight pull in stops, that is, to 189.35 and a base underneath of 188.50. Finishing off with gold and oil, the market is still a little bit subdued after its upside attempt. Couldn't break above the level that is around 1,938, with the cap holding at 1,948.54. The market is now looking back towards that support level, which is at 1,900. In light of the pattern, especially to the RSI backing away from the midway point and still with the MACD supporting a bear case, could eventually see this level go. A break of 1,900 reveals the downside around 1,888 to about 1,876. And moving on to oil, the market wasn't as strong overnight, and the market actually stays a slight pullback. In light of the pattern, there is little resistance viewed until around 116, while we maintain above 106. However, in light of where we actually are sitting at the moment, is the support level is around 107.35.65, and then beneath there at 103. Let me just pull that down, roughly around here. Let's see if the market can play a slightly weaker play into today. The momentum isn't as strong as we've recently seen, though. And keep an eye on these indicators because the MACD is still negative. Well, that wraps it for the morning. Thank you very much for joining me, but please keep an eye out for the intraday report and the end of the day wrap later today.